Welcome everyone to Defender for Cloud in the Field. Yes, new name, new background, all beautiful for this new approach to multi-cloud, this new approach to a more safe environment for everyone and not only for Azure. And to talk about this new environment and this new approach to CSPM across multi-cloud, I have a great friend of mine, and actually she was here before talking about a similar subject. My friend Serok. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Great presentation at Ignite. Congratulations. You did an amazing job. It was really good to see what we have and what you've been working for so many months. So that was really good.
Thank you.
Or for the ones that don't know you yet, can you just do a brief intro about your work at Microsoft? A lot of things changed since you record the first time. So
Yes, well, we are very dynamic here. So things change all the time. So, hi, everyone. My name is Or. I'm a product manager in Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and I lead our cloud security posture management for multi-cloud.
all right. Okay. So one of the biggest announcement at Ignite was this new multi-cloud approach using our new connector to AWS. And one of the things that I noticed immediately was that despite the fact that we already have a connector, it's still in place and it's still there for people that are utilizing. This new way to connect to AWS doesn't really require anything to be done on the AWS side. It doesn't require the secure hub. It doesn't require a lot of things, right? So can you talk more about the architecture of this new connector?
Yes, of course. So we are very excited to launch this new type of connector for AWS. Our existing connector leverages the cloud-native security tools, such as the Security Hub in AWS or Security Command Center in GCP. This was our, first step into multi-cloud and making this accessible for our customers. And as we progress, we wanted to give users the ability to get the security value from inside Defender for Cloud without relying on any external tools that they would need to enable. So the new connector in the CSPM plan is completely agentless, and it doesn't rely on any external security tool. All the recommendations are generated in-house in Defender for Cloud. And we have over 160 security recommendations for AWS.
Wow, that's amazing. We're starting already with that. And as far as the experiences, I know that we're going to have a demo for that. But do you consider also the onboarding experience much easier than it was in the past? Because you guys did a pretty good job on the first experience. The wizard was very straightforward, but based on what I saw at Ignite, it looks like it's even easier now to onboard.
Yeah. So we've been getting asks from customers, for example, to onboard multiple accounts or onboard an entire management account and all the accounts under it. And also, we wanted to automate the process, make it easier. And with the new onboarding, you can find a much easier onboarding. We will soon see it in the demo. And we have updated the authentication method we use as well. So it's supposed to be easier, more secure, and at scale.
Amazing. Now, the three questions that I'm pretty sure that you already received since the release at Ignite. When it comes to customizations, will customers be able to customize some of the recommendations?
Yes, definitely. So this is one of the most exciting features that we are bringing with this new connector. All of our recommendations are actually custom queries. So we leverage Azure Data Explorer, and how our integration works is we call the AWS native APIs periodically and retrieve the JSON configuration for the resources. We store those resource configurations in-house in Defender, so the cost isn't on the customer, and users can get access to this data and create custom recommendations. So any recommendation they would like to customize, they can just get the KQL query, customize it to their needs, and integrate it into the product.
Wow, that is game-changing for sure, because for many years, I mean, it was, if you consider that we released the first integration at Ignite 2020, for the past year, we've been hearing this feedback, and it's really good to see this coming to fruition now. Now, of course, the recommendations that we have in place, they will, when they become GA, they will affect the secure score, but I'm assuming that the custom recommendations will not, correct?
Yeah, that's right. The built-in recommendations will affect the score once they turn GA, and the custom ones, as any custom recommendation, will not affect the score.
This feature, this capability right now is under public preview, so there is no pricing to it, right? Customers can onboard and utilize, and there is no extra charge, correct?
Yes. The CSPM tier is free during preview, and the Defender for servers and Defender for Kubernetes plans on AWS cost the same as they do in Azure.
Okay. That's good. That's another important point, right? Besides the CSPM capability, we also have the workload protection platform with those two plans. Do we have any change on those based on this new connector, or the connector is pure for CSPM?
So the connector, and we will soon see it in the demo, can automate the process of onboarding both to the CSPM tier and to the Defender plan with auto provisioning. So we are removing any friction on, having to install agents on machines that weren't there when we first did the onboarding. So we do provide the onboarding with agents to all machines, and then auto provisioning from that point forward. So the Defender for Servers plan has been updated with a few more automations, and we'll soon have a quick look at that. And the Defender for Containers is a new offering that we launched at Ignite as well, where we extend the Defender coverage for containers in Amazon Cloud as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing. Just the fact that you're going to be able to auto onboard, that's beautiful. I love that. And this is really powerful capability. Because again, our previous connector was not able to do that, right?
Yeah. And another thing to add here is that those plans are not tied together. So users can onboard to whichever plan they choose and then add more plans later or remove plans. So it's very granular. In the previous integration, we did have a dependency between the CSPM and servers, and now we don't anymore because we understand users want the granularity, so we are happy to provide that.
Now, let me ask you this. If I'm a customer that I already have my connector, I will call it legacy connector working, what is the recommendation from you? Should I give it a try to this one? And if I try, I'm going to have duplication of my recommendations. Yeah. What should I do if I already have my connector?
That's a great question. So if you already have the connector, then all the recommendations you currently leverage will also be provided with the new connector. They will just be generated in-house in Defender. And at first stage, if you do have both connectors at the same time on the same subscription, you will see recommendations, similar recommendations twice. We have added a filter for users to be able to filter only for those recommendations for the previous connector or the new connector. So you can play with that, make sure it gives you the value that you want it to. And then our suggestion is migrating to the new connector.
Okay. And as far as migration, basically remove my connector and start the new one.
Yes, we will have a look at how we can do that. It's very easy. We provided you with a banner to switch back to the previous experience, and from there you can just delete the connectors if you choose, and onboard the new connectors. Important to note that you can onboard the same account twice with both connectors, so that's not a problem.
Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and see this quick demo that you brought to us. Let's start with the overall experience on the recommendations.
Yes. So as you can see here, we can already see recommendations for AWS resources for an account that we have previously onboarded. So we can see those recommendations integrated here in the recommendations blade, and you will be able to find them anywhere that you find security recommendations for Azure resources today. So if it's the recommendations grid, the CSV export, continuous export, workflow automation triggers, Azure resource graph, those are all of our APIs, of course. The new AWS recommendations are available there already. You'll be able to see that they do function as any Azure recommendation. We can see here the unhealthy resources. We can trigger logic apps for them. We can see the remediation steps. Another exciting option that we've added for AWS resources is the ability to remediate them. So we have included remediation scripts for several recommendations, and we're continuously adding more. So you'll be able to see.
Wow, you're gonna have quick fix for AWS?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Indeed. So we can see the quick fix logic, same as we can see for Azure, and then we can select those resources that we want to remediate. Click fix. Here we have the selected resources, and we will have the remediation logic ready for download right from the portal. So we can go ahead and fix those resources. All those AWS resources will also, of course, appear in inventory. So we can already see them here. And we can also filter for them, for example, here in the environment filter. So we can see, for example, only those resources that come from our AWS integration. We can continue to explore them and see what recommendations appear on those resources that we have onboarded. And of course, get those additional details on the resources. We have created 3 regulatory compliance standards for AWS that come out of the box: AWS CIS, PCI, and the foundational best practices by AWS. So here you'll be able to, if you have the existing connector before Ignite and the new connector, you'll be able to differentiate them here with this preview notation for the new standard. So again, here you won't be, by migrating, you won't be losing any of the functionalities you did until now, because we have created those same standards but in-house. So here you'll be able to see the recommendations mapped to the compliance controls. So how do we get all of these goodies?
Yeah,
Can
show me the onboarding
Yeah.
process. I'm curious about that.
Yes. So here we have updated the pricing and settings experience to the new environment settings. We're pretty excited about this. It should be much faster and much easier to find and manage the data here. Generally, not only for AWS. So here you'll be able to find the onboarding for new AWS accounts, and soon we will see how we can switch back to the old experience to manage those connectors there. So when we onboard a new account, we give the account a name, the connector, sorry. That's Yuri. Then we choose where do we store the connector resource. We choose a resource group where the connector resource will be created, and we give the connector ID. You'll notice here that you can onboard either a single account or a management account. If we onboard a management account, we will onboard the hierarchy under the management account. So we will create a connector for that management account, and then we'll create connectors for any account we identify under the hierarchy. If new accounts are created, we will automatically create connectors for those accounts. And if you wish to exclude any accounts under the management account, then you can put here those accounts that you would like to not onboard to Security Center. Next, we will choose which plans we want to enable. Each of these plans will require different access roles for us to authenticate to your AWS environment. So as you can see, we have the security posture management, Defender for servers, and Defender for Kubernetes. Security posture management will will require only read access to the environment, and will generate continuously the security recommendations, the regulatory compliance standards, yes, the resource inventory, and the remediation that we just saw. For servers and containers, we leverage the Arc agent, and they will require here some additional steps if you wish to change anything about the auto provisioning. Then you can do that. Next, we will implant here any of the access roles from the previous page. So anything you've selected there, we will implant into this CloudFormation template. You need to download the template and deploy it to AWS. So once you click on Go to AWS, you need to authenticate to your account and deploy the stack. So you'll just need to authenticate, follow the steps on the screen, and that's it basically. If you didn't change any of the access roles, then you can just go ahead and click next. If you gave the access roles different names, then please change them here, and that's it. You can create the new resource, and yeah, it will appear here.
Wow, that's pretty straightforward. Not really a lot of complications or anything. It's pretty straightforward. I like that.
Yes. Thank you. So we really wanted to make it easier and straightforward for users. So this is an example for a management account. So you can see the account and accounts under it. Yep. So once you're on board, we will start the discovery process immediately, and within a few hours, you'll be able to see your data in Security Center. So let's see for a minute how we can look at those existing connectors. If you have any of them, then clicking on that banner will take you back here to the Cloud Connectors page. we can see here the existing connectors. So we can either edit or delete them. And if you wish, you can still onboard accounts or projects through this existing experience, right-clicking on those. And by clicking again on the banner, we go back to the environment settings.
Okay, cool.
So
Nice. That's
if, for
that's
example,
really cool. Or let me ask you something real quick here. When you were demonstrating the quick fix, which is game change from in my perspective, because again, this is something that a lot of customers they like in Azure quick fix, and they want to have also in a multi-cloud environment. How long it takes for that recommendation that you remediate to reflect that remediation? Like, for example, let's say that you remediated now, let's say 2 p.m. Is this going to be reflected based on the refresh time of the recommendation, or there is a different timer?
Yeah, exactly. So the same as in Azure, the next refresh interval will calculate the recommendation health state again, and you'll be able to see within a few hours the new state for the recommendation. We are working on some new stuff in this area that I hope I can share the next time I'm here.
Awesome. This is really good, or I'm really glad we are going into this direction. Congratulations. I know for a fact that you work really hard to get this done by Ignite. We had many conversations in the past, and you were all nervous. Is this going to be able to make it or not? And I'm really glad it did. Really congratulations for the hard work of yours and the whole development team. I mean, there is a lot of people behind that project that I know that work really hard.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think it's very exciting. We really wanted to get this to our customers as soon as possible. We've been working with many design partners on this, and we really wanted for them to already use it. And we have a very large engineering team that's worked on this and continuing to work on it, and our security researchers. And we're all very excited for this to come out, and we're really keen on hearing some feedback.
All right. So as far as feedbacks, do you have embedded in the tool a location where customers can give feedback, or they should just go to the Azure user voice and give it from there?
Yeah, so both would be really good. We do have options for feedback for each recommendation that we have in the portal, and we would love to hear you there, the user voice, or here in the comments.
Nice, excellent. Now, before you go, I want you to do just one more quick demo about the custom recommendation. Can you do that?
Yes, of course. So we have two nice things here. If you've onboarded an account and you want to add more plans, remove any plans, then just clicking on that account will take you here to an option to either offboard, onboard, and then going through this wizard with those steps will just inform you on how to do this quickly and easily. And when we talk about how do we manage those new recommendations, how do we add and remove them, then we can go to this new standards experience. Here we can see all of the standards that are assigned on the account that I chose. From this page, we can assign new standards, either built-in or custom standards. So for example, if I want to enable the AWS CIS on this scope, I can just choose it from this list and save, and the new assignment will be created on this scope. And right from assigning this, you'll get those new recommendations evaluating your environment. From this place, we can also view, so we can see which recommendations we have in each standard and explore those recommendations here. and of course add and create custom standards and custom assessments. So if we're talking about any new assessments, we have this cool new experience here that lets you give the assessment a name, a resource group, severity, description, remediation description. You can choose which standards you want to include this recommendation in. You can choose multiple standards, and you need to provide us with the KQL query that we will evaluate periodically. So if you launch the Azure Data Explorer, you will get to our new playground to play with AWS data. So at first step, we have created here an experience that lets you play with the JSON configurations for the resources. Those won't be, it won't be your data. It will be mock data that we have created to play with here. And you will be able to see many data tables and all of the JSON configuration that we retrieve from other clouds. Choose whatever property you want to include in the query, play with it here in the Azure Data Explorer, and then give us this query here and create the assessment. And it will run periodically on your resources, and yeah, that's how you create.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Awesome. That's great. Again, thank you very much. I'm pretty sure that customers will start to using this, and a lot of questions will come up, and a lot of feedback will come up. But this is really what we want. We want them to use and to provide feedback. So again, thank you very much for taking the time to record this, and congratulations for the amazing feature.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to chat with you soon.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining another episode of the Defender for Cloud in the Field. If you are not subscribed to the Microsoft Security channel, make sure to go to aka.ms/MDFCI. MDFC in the field. That's the new URL, right? MDFC in the field. aka.ms/MDFC in the field. With that, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you very much for your audience, and see you again next time.